I would not be doing that. So I said today I want to be able to do this and that at the same time. So the reason why I'm coming today is because as a mentor, the one thing that I understand is that you get judged by your cover. And that's not cool. And I think that we should be past that part of judging a book by its cover. Sometimes that you look at a kid or a kid, you see a kid wearing a certain thing, wearing a certain facial, but before we even get to know a kid or before we even get to know a person, let's just say that before we even get to know a person, you're judging. You're looking for how can I relate. You're looking to how what's different about this person and do I have something in common about this person? Instead of getting to know them first, it's more of based off surface. But most times when you think about it, it is surface first, get to know the person second. So it's like based off how he looks, or based off how she looks, and based off what she's wearing, based off what he's wearing, there's an expectation that's set upon that person. It's like, hey, I don't think that you're capable because of how you look and your friend group, right? That can be a thing, or it can be say a friend group, or it can be just based off how your approach is. If you came at me or you walked towards me a certain way, or you walked or you looked at me a certain way, it could be that people judge you based off that. It could be based off the things that you actually say. Before I even get my mind or my words out, you're thinking about a person in a certain way and how you can place them in a different category. Or what category do they fit? Or where do they fit in your kind of social arena? Um, but I'll say today, work on giving a person a chance before you even judge a person. How you go about giving a person a chance? You may be thinking like, I mean, I just need to judge them off rip and then get to know them second. Why not get to know them first and then think about how you can be able to get to know them better? Um, but that's something that I was thinking of today as a mentor. I see a lot of kids or a lot of people do the same thing. And one thing I try to get the kids to understand is that don't judge a person based off how they look, or don't judge a person based off what they say. Judge a person based off how you interact with them, how they interact with you. Um, because what happens is that you may miss out on the opportunity to get to know the person in a deeper level because you have judged someone and then you may have acted a certain way or act a certain way towards them. Then what happens is now you're wondering why they're acting weird. I don't think they're acting weird. How you doing? I don't think they're acting weird. It's just that you had a way that you wanted to approach that person. And when you approach that person, they approach you the same way with the same kind of energy or with the same kind of response. And what happens is you two collided because you had an expectation or interpretation, or let's just say it, you judged the person before you even got to know them, and then you went off the judgment that you had that they didn't know that you judged them with, and then what happens is that you guys you felt like you don't know or couldn't relate, and what happened is that it's now on two separate pages instead of getting to know them like, hey, my name is such and such. And the one thing that I want to get to know you as a person, as an individual. And before you even put up any barriers, before you even put up any stop signs with the way you want to approach them, get to know them first. Get to know them first. What's up, man? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Because I deal with kids all the time. I deal with kids all the time. I deal with adults too. I'm a youth mentor here in the Portsmouth area. And the one thing that I understand is that kids today gets judged based off their appearance, based off before they even get to know one another, they getting judged off how they look. They getting judged off what other people perceive them as. Oh, he's a thug, he's gangster, he's with this crew, so he has to be this kind of kid. So we're gonna make sure that we place him in this kind of category. But if you even look at it or get to know that kid on a deeper level, what would you will find out on a deeper level is that he's actually smart. She's actually smart. But you won't find that out off the first thing because there's called barriers. There's barriers. Then and kids today is not gonna give you or show you who they are up front. They're gonna, you know, show you who they want you to think they are. But what happens is that's just I call it falsifying documents. That's how I see it. It's falsifying documents. But in order for you to get to know that kid, you have to spend time with them. You have to spend time with them. And I would really ask that question is why is it that we judge first, get to know second? That'd be one thing that I would like to know because why do we judge first, get to know second, based off before I even open my mouth or before I even say anything, people are thinking or perceiving a person a certain kind of way. That's at school, that's at a job, that's in anything. Why is that? Side note, why is it that when you look for something you can't find it, but you can find it when you're not looking for it? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. But yeah, that's what I was going over today is I really wanted to know why do we judge a book by its cover? Like before I even get to know you or want to know you, I would judge you before I even talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why do we do that? Like before I know what kind of education. So let's say for adults, right? If a person has accolades, and the accolades could be they have a master's in psychology, they're a doctor in business, or they have a bachelor's degree, it's already a set kind of like idea of oh they smart. Oh, or they are somebody of somebody who I need to know because they have the the thinking of this kind of person or the thought pattern of this kind of person of that kind of person. But in most cases, that's that can be far from the truth. You never know. But first, by you hearing the accolades, it could have been so they know everything. They don't know everything. They just know a particular thing in a particular subject. But you have put them in a category of that they smart and they know everything, and I need to know more from them. Get to know them first. What that means is, hey, introduce yourself. Identify what it is that they do not know that you can help. You see what I'm saying? Because what that will help is now is more of like, hey, we can really grow with one another. We can really understand one another on a level of here's what I know and here's what you know. We come together, it can be something different. It can be something awesome. It can be something good. And that's what I want kids to adopt in school. That's what I want kids to adopt in school because but the first thing is we have to learn how to communicate in school for kids right now. If a kid learn how to communicate with one another, schools can go so much better. It can go smoothly, even public can go smoothly. Uh, everything can go smoothly, but there's a there's a couple of barriers that you can get through because if you think about it, everybody has a story to tell, but it's only is but the only thing is, am I going to tell you the story? Am I going to tell you what my story is or the thing that I'm looking to tell that I want to tell somebody on a deeper level? Most likely, I'm not going to tell you what my story is because one, you may have judged me or perceived me a certain kind of way at the beginning that you didn't give me the opportunity to go about telling you my story. So why would I give you the time and energy to tell my story? You see what I'm saying? So what that happens is, I mean, what happens there is that it's like since you already judged me at the beginning, or you already judged the book by its cover anyway, I'm not going to give you the time or day into another part of me because you already said that you are this particular person. You see what I'm saying? So, in order for us not to judge, in order for us to see people differently or not from face value, um, and I know there are certain situations where you have to say, I'm going to perceive this person in a certain kind of way because it may be an environment thing. It may be an environment. Based off the environment that you're in, I'm going to judge that person based off face value right now because of the environment. So everybody that's in this environment gets this kind of judgment or gets this kind of, I'm going to judge you off how you look because of my environment, because of where I'm at, because of where um, I believe that this kind of particular environment offers. You see what I'm saying? And that's not, I mean, in some cases it is. Let's just say it. It is that case in certain environments. Because if you see somebody, if you go in an environment where the houses are large, massive, beautiful, elegant, and the car that's in the driveway is a nice car or a car that just gets you from point A to point B, most times, 9 times out of 10, you're going to say the people who lives in this environment is of a different standard, is of a different category. I need to treat them a certain kind of way because of the house that they live in, right? Now, if you go in a place where there's trash everywhere on the floor and in an environment and there's trash everywhere or the trash can hasn't been taken out or, the grass is not cut, you're going to perceive that environment a different way. So that means that whoever you come in interaction with, you're gonna already be in a judgmental kind of state of mind of, yeah, I'm not really trying to hear what you're saying to me, or not really trying to understand what you're saying to me because your environment has led me to think of you a certain kind of way. So your mindset will go into, I need to go into a survivor's mindset and not just a mindset of flourishing. It can be something of that matter. But how can we get over the barriers that we have placed on certain people or certain environments? There's, and the crazy thing is, I'm supposed to be looking for the information. I'm looking for the information, but I still can't find it. But yes, so that's what I'm talking about today is understanding as a mentor and getting my mentees to understand, don't judge somebody based off face value. Before you get to know them, before you hear anything, before you hear a story, before you hear anything. But most times they're like, nah, Mr. Will. They're like, nah, no, nope, not going that far. Okay. Not going that far. How they say what you get is what you see, and what you see is what you get. So there it is. They're like, nah, Mr. Will, we're not doing that. We're not trying to find out their story. We're not looking to find out what kind of conditions they've been in or anything like that. I'm judging them based off what they're wearing, what they look, and how they're looking at me, and how they're dealing with certain things. And I'm watching them. I'm watching their movement. I'm watching how they interact with other people. I'm watching that. I'm learning their value. I'm learning who they are. I'm learning that. And then the one thing that you can ask them is that how are you learning that based off a distance? I'm learning to judge them based off the distance in which they are showing me, based off their actions, based off how they interact with other people. Because for me to get to know them or approach them, to want to know them, I have to watch them first because I don't know what I'm getting myself into, or I don't know what I'm approaching. So if I approach a certain person a certain kind of way, what happens is I'm giving me to them, meaning I'm showing them who I am. So, and sometimes that can be uncomfortable. Sometimes that can make a person not say, hey, I don't even want to say nothing to them. I don't even want to approach them because for me to give my value to them, to their value, we have to have something in common for me to even walk over towards them, to get to know them, to not judge them before I even meet them. And most times it is that way of, I do not want to approach them because they may say something out of pocket. And when they say something out of pocket, that's going to make me say something out of pocket. And then that's going to make me want to do something. And then that's going to make me, um, that's going to make the interaction different. that's going to make the interaction different than what I was really expecting from the interaction. How y'all doing this morning? So this message is really early. I know it is, but the reason why is because most kids go to school, or most kids are going to school at this time. And I wanted to put something on their mind. It's like, how? Why do you judge a book by its cover? Why do you judge a book by its cover? And I know I used to do it too when I was in school. I don't want to hang out with them because they may get me in trouble. I don't want to talk to them people, or because they may say something I don't like, something like that. I don't know what it is, but I want you to understand that judging a book by its cover is something that it's something that doesn't go away, but it's something that it can be done in a different way. Is why I'm coming with this subject, as to why we judge a book by its cover. Now, the cover or thumbnail that you're going to see is "Don't judge a book by its cover," and that's something that is the same. Is why we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Because if you think about it, everybody has a story to tell, but most people are not going to, anybody I know, they're not going to tell you their story up front. Not going to tell you their story up front. You're going to have to see how they move. You're going to have to watch what they do, say, and act for you to find out small tidbits, like a trailer. You may get a trailer at the beginning. You may get a trailer at the beginning, and it may be one of those trailers that that you be like, nah, I like I like the trailer, but the trailer may not identify who that person is at the beginning. So how can you avoid, or how can we go around that part of not judging a book by its cover, and making that cover be something else, or making that cover, I don't know, making that cover seem like something different. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing, or my idea. So yeah. What are your thoughts on, as far as judging a book by its cover? Do you feel like that's one of those things of judging a book by its cover is one of those things that, is it necessary to do? Is it necessary to judge a book by its cover? And if it's necessary, what environment do you define for it to be good to judge somebody by its cover? What would that be? What environment would that look like to you to judge a book by its cover? And then you see that the book matched the story, and the story matched the personality or person who you're coming in contact with. If that's the case, I would like to know if that's the case. So so that's all I have for y'all today. Today, um, again, this is Will with New Steps Foundation. Our goal here is to provide value to youth, value to youth, to help them be better communicators, to help them be better people in the long run once they graduate from school, is to help them be better people in the home. Most homes that is have a single parent mom, I want them to, or young males or young women, to understand the value that they have with the parent that they are with in the home. I want them to be able to communicate that with that parent. That's our goal, and that's our mission, is to change or transform as many young lives as we can. And the way we can go about doing that is by doing this, which is live. If the lives help you, please let us know. If the lives don't help you, please let us know. Um, but the reason why I want to do this is because you get actual mentorship live. So that's why I go on a topic. And so today's topic is more of, why do we judge of why do we judge a book by its cover? Is why do we judge a book by its cover? And it should be the thing of, don't judge a book by its cover, but it's something that, based off the environment, that you're in, it can be done. It's a reason why that book is being judged. So you let me know what you think. So I'm about to get out of here, and I wish y'all the best and enjoy your day.